4:14, read it with me. It says, the sower soweth the word. And these are they by the wayside where the word is sown. But when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately and taketh it away, the word that was sown in their hearts. Keep going. It says, and these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground, who, when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with what? Keep on going. And have no root in themselves, and so endure but for what? A time. When affliction or persecution arises for the word's sake, immediately they are what? Offended. And these are they which are sown among thorns, such as heard the word. Come on. And the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of what? And the lust of other things enter in, choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful. Keep going. And it says, and these are they which are sown on good ground, such as heard the word, and what? Come on, y'all. And what? And did what? They received it. And bring forth what? Some 30-fold, some 60, and some 100. Now it says, these are they which are sown on good ground. Somebody say good ground. That's just ground that's receptive. That's just ground that received. Such as heard the word and received it and bringeth forth fruit, some 30-fold, some 60, and some 100. So the word of the Most High is as important to us as seed as it is to a farmer who plants physical seed in good soil. Eventually, it produces a harvest. Let me say that again. The word of the Most High is as important to us as seed is to a farmer planting physical seeds in the ground or in good soil. Eventually it produces a harvest. And the same can be said for planting the seed of the word in our hearts. Somebody say it's provision. It's provision. Everything we need in life has been made available to us in seed form. Yes. Talk to me, somebody. Yes. But it is up to us to plant it and allow it to grow. And many of us, through being frustrated, we have a tendency to either dig up what is sown or leave it and not nourish it with our faith. Faith would be equivalent to you going back and watering and tilling that particular land, because no farmer puts seed in the ground and does not expect that they have to do some work in order for that thing to manifest. Look at somebody and say, faith is the work. Faith is the work. Real faith has absolute confidence in the word. Like I said, I don't think a farmer goes and sows seed into 100 acres of land and not expecting a harvest. Imagine he's sitting down at the little cafe in the town, and they said, man, I just did 100 acres. He said, man, I just did 200 acres. And the guy that did 200 acres started talking to another guy. He said, man, we did 300 acres, man. And then all of a sudden the 100-acre guy says, man, that's crazy. Y'all going to have a serious harvest. I did 100 acres. I did it with no expectation, though. I did all that work with no expectation. They'll be looking at him like, you did what? You did all that work with no expectation? Because, see, you got to think about it this way. Y'all think that they just running out there in the field and sowing seed in the ground. They work that land and they cultivate that land so that that land is prepared to receive seed. See, all of this coming to church and all of this Bible study and all of this stuff, prayer, that is you cultivating the ground so it can receive seed. You can't do all that work and then sow seed and give up. Not just that, get seed from the Most High and call yourself sowing it and giving up, and then have the nerves to get offended. The scripture said for the word's sake. You know how many people are walking around upset with me because I said what he told me to say and they felt like it didn't come to pass? But look at somebody and say, you say what he said. Come on, push him real hard. Say what he said. It ain't your word, no way. And they're offended from the word. They're offended because what they saw or what they said didn't match what they were seeing. But you got to keep saying that thing till you see it. Let me try this again. You got to keep saying it till you see it. And then the moment that a seed is given to you, it demands an action. If you take the seed, you hold it in your hand, you keep it in a bag, you keep it in your pocket, if that's the only action you're going to take, you ain't going to never see nothing. So the moment that seed is sown or given to you in your life, you have to do something with it. Amen. You got to sow it. When you really believe what the word is saying and that in that seed is provision, you start talking about the vision. Amen. I know I have at least half a person in here that start talking about stuff you hadn't seen physically, but had been revealed through the word, and you saw it in the spirit. And you start talking about it, and some of it was so lofty in the minds of other people that when you start talking about it, they thought you was a little loose in the head there. How in the world you going to do what you just said? And I understand you don't have the capability, you don't have the provision, you don't have the education, you don't have... Let me talk to somebody. Are you hearing what I'm saying? When I was a senior case manager at Strong, I was the only person in that place that did case management that did not have a master's degree. Oh, but by the way, didn't have a bachelor's either. But he'll make you the head. Oh, I got to go. I'll leave you alone. Y'all ain't ready. And not the tail. He'll put you above and not beneath. He'll give you such favor with men that they'll go against what they said the qualifications was. They said the qualification as a senior case manager in the psych department was to have a bachelor's and a master's and a certain amount of experience. But they forgot to say, and who you know. And I never forget when the young lady, I don't know how she found out, but you know, folk be talking and they don't let you know. She found out, she came into the meeting we had a 10 a.m. meeting every Friday. We'd do a briefing and a debriefing and a briefing and for the next week to come. And so we sitting in there and she said, she got her hand up like we in school. Like she got the answer. You know how when you got the answer? She was like, I just want to know how come there are people in here. Now, I'm the only person that she could be talking about. How come there are people in here that is making more and have positions, and I have a master's, and I'm working on my doctorate right now. And the doctor spoke back to her and said, when you know what he know, you can make what he make. I was like, that's my dog right there. You want to go out to lunch? Let's go. You understand what I'm saying? You got to understand in the kingdom, there is no limit to those who will live by faith. The only limit is the one that you set on yourself. Man, I thought I had some help here. Somebody said there's provision in the word. Are you hear what I'm saying? Listen, when you start going through things, don't let your flesh get the best of you and become offended because of the word's sake or because you're going through it because of the word, which means what you're going through don't look like what the word has said, but you got to go through it because you have to go through the death process. See, the death process is to get rid of you so he can be glorified. The death process is there so you can get out the way. Somebody say, I got to die. And the only way to kill me and get rid of me is my flesh has to go into affliction so my spirit man can arise and be in charge of this life right here. Somebody holler, provision, provision.